of these debt servants that owed, that couldn't pay, and they had to work it off. What did they think a lot of them, or a lot of them, was working for?
Working for, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so I see here in the chat we have indigenous Akamak. They're asked, or they say here, they comment, reparation has nothing to do with who enslaved. It had to do with invasions and possession. The fact is they compensated people who have no claims in America. This is another variable. Let me add this to this equation too. So once upon a time ago, you had something called the Virginia Company, the Plymouth Company, Georgia Company, Tennessee Company. You had the Rhode Island Company. You had a series of foreign companies that later became quote unquote states, which are still companies / corporations to this day, right?
Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
municipalities.
Once upon a time ago, these companies, they came together and they was called the union companies, right? So now that we have the union
Yep,
companies that merged to a degree or what have you, and they became the United States. They went from union companies to the United States. Exactly who owes you reparations?
Ooh.
Which of these companies, colonial companies, by the way,
Ooh.
because the companies have just created a whole new separate entity now.
that's not liable for what they did. Now you see why they did the United States, because it was a union. Because who had the skill sets on this homeland of ours? Let's have this conversation since Tony opened the door. Who had
Yeah,
the skill set? We did.
that's right.
So what they did is they got together, started forming work unions to carve out their position.
Wow.
Don't let Hollywood fool you with that root story, y'all. Yes, slavery happened, but
Mhm.
don't let Hollywood fool you. It was
And,
work, job.
and this is this is why I feel like this conversation is needed, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We are talking about Black history versus American history. We're talking about a lot of things that they didn't teach us, they wouldn't teach us, and that they think we would never know. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with these topics. You feel what I'm saying? And I, man, this is, I'm sitting here and I'm learning a lot too. And listen, brothers, don't be, you know, if you see something in the comments, hey, feel free to you know, answer anything you see in the comments. That's no problem.
I appreciate that.
That's no problem. So if you want to touch on anything someone's saying in there, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I
And we
want to.
have
I
to.
want to continue. Okay.
Oh, just real quick, I want to say before you continue, and we got to remember what they did. They gave us a form of history that's compact to make it seem like everything happened at the same time. That the theft of the land, slavery, no. The majority of this land got taken from us during the first and second confiscation acts. See, a lot of this property didn't get seized until after the Civil War, when they came into the South, and any family that was suspected of helping the South, they seized your property, land, and whatever you had. That's when the majority of the land theft started happening.
Absolutely, I agree. Now, yeah, I do want to continue with the presentation, get other subject matter, but I would like to continue answering or responding to Indigenous Acomac's comments. They
Go ahead.
commented here. The second comment is, matter of fact, let me finish with the first comment. They said the fact is they compensated people who have no claims in America. The situation is you have particular parties, right, that had specific claims against other specific parties. And this is why they were compensated.
Hmm.
See, people need to take time to study this legal system. That's the situation here. You know, I have a text over here. Let me locate it real quick.
So that's what we're dealing with. It's the legal system.
Yeah, no, check this out. This is from former President James Buchanan's book, right? So he says here, letters has been the only hindrance to their being, politically speaking, a most powerful people, with the faculty of circulating and improving their natural information by means of literature. They would either not have been objects for the crafty arts of civilized man, or they would have been invulnerable to them and never could have been driven from their territories. This is in reference to our ancestors
Hmm.
who we didn't know their language. We didn't understand commerce. We didn't understand their books and their quote unquote laws. We had our own. These are points of exploitation here. Now, some people may be aware and others may not be aware, but they translated their Bible into the Choctaw language, into the Algonquin language, and many other languages, so that they can infuse in the minds of our people their foreign beliefs.
Wow.
There's a story that we shared on the Hidden Colored series a few weeks ago, right? You know, shout out to Chief No Yamina for sharing this, by the way. This is out of the Northeast, the Wampanoag, Nehegansett Indians, right? You had Metacomet, okay, who the British decided to identify as King Philip. In choosing to identify this American Indian chief by the name of King Philip, they planted in the minds of their British subjects to view this Indian chief the same way they should view the Spanish king who Britain was at war with, whose name was really King Philip. Okay? Now, this is a situation here on a legal situation, right? This is a situation here where you have the fact that these Indians wake up one day and there's this horrific smell. And so they trace the smell on an island. They see a whole bunch of pigs. Some foreigner decided that, oh, they was going to plant their pigs on this island. So what King Philip did, Metacomet did, he went ahead and he filed some legal paperwork, like, yo, get these pigs out of here. They don't belong on that land. Well, the foreigners, they didn't want to acknowledge the situation, so what they do? The Indians, they killed all the pigs. Now, what the foreigners did, well, they made a claim against the Indians. Were the Indians ready for that during this period? I don't know. But these are the dynamics of this foreign law that was introduced. I mean, certain agreements were made with different parties. Let me see what we have here. Because Akamak is asking a lot of questions here. They got a lot of comments.